No, there is no logic. I've told you I don't have the statistics. Whose relatives of the president were given appointments? Let us have the office. Which positions were they given? It's not enough to just go to the media and begin to talk anyhow. He should furnish us with evidence. Then from there we will tackle him frontally. But for now, there is no evidence. It's just an allegation.
He named names in that publication, and I thought by now the government should be responding to that.
Positions?
And those were names that you can actually put faces to, and they're very much around.
No, I have not seen it, Mr. Suleiman. I have not seen those names. But what I'm saying is, where are these offices? Are they administrative positions? Are they political positions? I have to know, and we have to know before we can take that issue seriously.
You know, I think the publication is out there, and I thought that your office should also help itself by getting to see that. Some he did say. One is in the Independent National Electoral Commission. Some others are very much within the presidency, and and some of them.
That woman was appointed by President Jonathan. Is he not the former acting chairman of INEC? She was appointed by President Jonathan. It's not President Buhari who appointed her. She has been a national commissioner in INEC for the past 6 years.
But you say you don't take Dr. Junai Mohammed serious, but you haven't read his piece. Because if you had read his piece, you would have seen where he said, yes, it may have been nominated by President Jonathan, but it was nominated by the president, President Buhari.
How can the president has been in opposition since 2003. How can he say that it was the president who nominated him? Is it the president who nominates INEC commissioners as a private person? This man was appointed in 2011, and the person who was the president was former President Jonathan, not President Buhari. So that is why I say that I don't take Junaid Mohammed serious. Because as a former member of the House of Representatives, as a senior citizen, it's about 70 years, over 70 years, he should talk with statistics and figures, not just making groundless, baseless allegations calculated to embarrass the president.
Mr. Oba, I'm just wondering, what about this headline from The Guardian? I'm sure you have been in the middle of this. Recently, you were at the Senate to represent the Attorney General of the Federation.
Yes, I am. I want to talk about
just
that.
A moment. Just a moment. Can I quickly land on that? The senators refused to entertain you, and
okay, go on.
And right now, we've seen also that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has released a statement saying that the Senate is not on trial. But here we see Nigeria's foremost constitutional lawyer, Professor Ben Wabweze, saying that Nigeria's Senate is on trial. What do you make of that?
We respect Ben Wabweze. He's a foremost constitutional authority, but that it doesn't mean that whatever he says is not is the gospel truth. I do not agree with him. He has been very, very partisan of recent, so I understand the position he's taking. The Senate is not on trial. The people on trial are the Senate President, the Deputy Senate President, Ekweremadu, and 2 staffs of the National Assembly. They do not constitute the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is made up of 107 senators, 3 from each from the 36 states of the Federation and 1 from Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. So if 2 senators are on trial, that does not mean that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is on trial. These issues are very, very simple. A petition was initiated to the police by 22 senators alleging that the Senate Standing Orders 2015 were altered, that they were forged. So the police went on to constitute an investigation team made up of a DIG, a very senior police officer, who carried out forensic investigation and established that those standing orders were indeed forged. The report was sent to the Department of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, and they vetted that report and advised the Attorney General of the Federation to invoke his powers under Section 174, sub 1 of the Constitution to initiate criminal proceedings. And the AGF went ahead to initiate criminal proceedings. I don't see where the AGF have gone wrong. I don't see the Senate of Nigeria being on trial. The powers of the Attorney General of the Federation.
But Mr. Obono-Obla, isn't that because you're also being
subject to review?
Excuse me. Are you not being...
No, let me finish.
Just before you finish, just add this to it. Are you not being partisan?
The powers of the Attorney General are not subject to review by the Senate or even the courts.
Are you not being partisan with your explanation?
There's an authority of the Supreme Court
saying...
State and Ilorin decided by the Supreme Court in 1983. The Supreme Court said the Attorney General, when he's exercising his powers to prosecute, is not answerable to any authority, person, or even the court. And that power also cannot be subject to the review by a court of law.
So, what do you then, I mean, how do you respond to, Professor Wambweze's? Because a lot of people are going to take this very seriously. And
I do not agree with him. I have told you that he is very... Recently, he is very, very partisan.
Do you have proof to that effect?
Of political events and legal issues in the country.
Some people will say those are grievous allegations, against someone of his stature. Do you have any proof to say that?
It is not true. The Senate is not under trial. Two senators are under trial and 2 members of the National Assembly. They do not constitute the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Why do you say he's being partisan?
Who is partisan?
You said he's been partisan of late.
Yes, he has accused the president of so many things. Since the president came into office, he has been attacking the president. He has said so many things about the president. He has interpreted the law in a very partisan manner. So despite the fact that he is a foremost academic lawyer, it doesn't mean that everything he says is the truth.
Is it because it doesn't go with your grain?
Human emotions and sentiments.
Is it because his explanations or his stance goes against your grain, then you accuse him of being partisan?
No. Even from he has been a very partisan academic lawyer. I have read his book. I read his book in a law school. Introduction to Nigerian Constitutional Law. His views there too are also very partisan. So that is it. And we know that he was also a politician. He was a minister in this country, and he's a member of some of these ethnic associations that disturbs the peace of the country now and then, by saying, the president is biased, this person is biased, my ethnic group is not being given according to the proper position in the country. So someone like that, you should take his views with a pinch of salt.
Let's get something from this from you. Is it that this government doesn't really like people to speak up and even critique and criticize its policies and actions?
No, it's not true. This government has been very tolerant. Yes, but what I'm saying is that
your response to the respected Professor Wambweze doesn't show that the government is tolerant to opinions other than what they hold.
No, what you are saying a different thing. What I'm saying is that where is the evidence that this government does not listen to alternative views? The fact that the Wambweze said, look, the Senate is on trial, and the Secretary of the Government said the Senate is not on trial, does not mean that this government does not listen to alternative view.
Mr. Obla, well, looking through all of this, because you did appear before that Senate committee while the AGF was invited, and you said that the Senate committee or the Senate had no powers or no rights to invite the AGF. But then
I said so.
But then
let
me finish before you go on. But then Senator Itainan then apologized. What then do you make of that?
No. He was speaking for himself. He was playing politics. It's a bridge between the executive and the National Assembly. The Senate can invite the Minister of Justice. The Office of Attorney General of the Federation is a separate office from the office of the Minister of Justice of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But they are merged. So if the Senate wants to carry out an inquiry as to the efficiency of the Federal Ministry of Justice, if there is corruption in the Federal Ministry of Justice in its function of lawmaking, they can invite the Attorney General to come and answer questions on the floor of the House. But if there's Attorney General as the Chief Prosecutor General of the Federation, we invoke his powers under Section 1741 of the Constitution to initiate criminal proceedings against anybody in any court of law in Nigeria except the court-martial. Then the Senate cannot have him to come and explain that it is outside the oversight jurisdiction of the National Assembly as provided by Sections 88 and 89 of the Constitution. That is what we are saying.
All right, Mr. Obla, we need to wrap up.
Office of the AGF.
All right, just quick response. Quick response, Mr. Obla. Quick response before you go. I'm making it a very short one.
So if that
no, just hang on a minute. Hang on a minute before we wrap this up, Mr. Obla. Many people have come on this program, including political opponents of the president, and they said the president is a man of integrity. He means well for this country. And so if they see a thing or two that seems to be out of character, doesn't it then behove on his aides to ensure that they explain to the president how things have gone wrong?
Like what? Give an example, give an illustration so that I will understand you. You have not given an illustration. You are just talking. Give an illustration or an example. Then I will answer you frontally.
All right, I understand we need to take a break, but Mr. Okoi Obono-Obla, Special Assistant to the President on Prosecution, Federal Ministry of Justice, we appreciate you talking to us this morning. Well, we will be back in just a moment. Join us.